Hello everyone. In this lecture, we are going to solve a problem on transmission line with and without using Smith charts. In the last three lectures, we have seen the construction of Smith chart, what happens to the input impedance when the transmission line is terminated with different lengths, and characteristics of transmission lines. With these basics, we are going to solve a problem in transmission line in this lecture. A 30 meter long lossless transmission line with characteristic impedance of 50 ohms operating at 2 megahertz is terminated with a load of 60 plus j into 40 ohms. If the velocity of wave u equal to 0.6 into c on the transmission line, find the reflection coefficient, standing wave ratio and the input impedance. So this is a transmission line whose characteristic impedance is 50 ohms. So ZO equal to 50 ohms. Load is connected at this end and the load value is ZL equal to 60 plus J times 40 ohms. He also given the operating frequency, that is 2 megahertz. Operating frequency equal to 2 into 10 power 6 hertz. And the velocity of wave u equal to 0.6 into c is 3 into 10 power 8 meters per second. So he asked three parameters: reflection coefficient, standing wave ratio and input impedance. And he given a lossless transmission line. The reflection coefficient is represented with gamma, that is equal to ZL minus ZO by ZL plus ZO. Since we know the value of ZL and ZO, ZL is 60 plus J times 40 minus 50 ohms by 60 plus J times 40 plus 50, that is equal to, this is 10 plus J times 40 by 110 plus J times 40 that is equal to 0.1970 plus 0.2919 J equal to 0.35226 angle 55.98, 0.3523 angle 56 degrees. For the required reflection coefficient is, the second point he asked is the standing wave ratio S. The standing wave ratio S or voltage standing wave ratio rho is defined as 1 plus mod gamma by 1 minus mod gamma. Anyway, we know the value of gamma upon substituting 1 plus 0.3523 by 1 minus 0.3523, that is equal to 2.0878. Let's round off it to 2.088. Therefore, standing wave ratio S equal to 2.088. The third question he asked is the input impedance of the transmission line. Input impedance of the transmission line is represented with Zin, or else you can write it as Z of L, where L is the length of the transmission line. And the formula for input impedance is characteristic impedance ZO into ZL plus J times ZO tan beta L by ZO plus J times ZL tan beta L. Here we have to find out the value of tan beta L, but the beta value is not given directly, but he given operating frequency and velocity of wave. The phase constant is the ratio of angular velocity of the wave to the actual velocity of the wave. That implies I can write beta L as omega by u into L. Omega means 2 pi f by u means 0.6 into 3 into 10 power 8. Length of the transmission line is 30 meters. Therefore 2 pi into 2 into 10 power 6 into 30 by 0.6 into 3 into 10 power 8, that equal to 2 pi by 3, which is equal to, upon substituting the value of pi, that is 120 degrees. Beta L equal to 120, tan beta L equal to tan of 120 degrees. I can write it as tan of 180 degrees minus 60 degrees, that equal to minus tan 60 degrees, whose value is 1.73205. It is minus tan 160 degrees, therefore minus 1.73205. Input impedance of the transmission line, or impedance at a length L equal to 30 meters, is equal to characteristic impedance 50 into ZL value is 60 plus J times 40 plus J into 50 into minus 1.73205 by 50 plus J times ZL value is 60 plus J times 40 into tan 120 minus 1.73205. Upon solving this equation, you will get input impedance of the transmission line as 23.97 plus J times 1.35 ohms. If you try to represent in terms of polar form, then it is 24.01 angle 3.22 degrees. This is the way to solve the problem without using Smith chart. Now let us do the same problem using Smith chart. The first step is you have to represent the load impedance on the Smith chart. During the construction of Smith chart, we drawn resistance circle and reactance circles, and these circles are actually normalized resistance circles and normalized reactance circles. That means in order to represent a load on the Smith chart, you have to represent them in a normalized way. Therefore, normalized load impedance is equal to load impedance by the characteristic impedance. Our load impedance is 60 plus 40J by 50, that is equal to 1.2 plus J times 0.8. This normalized load is equal to R plus Jx, where R is normalized resistance and X is normalized reactance. Therefore, in our case, R value is 1.2 and X value is 0.8. Now we have to check R equal to 1.2 circle and X equal to 0.8 circle on the Smith chart. On the Smith chart, R equal to 1.2 means this circle, and X equal to 0.8 means this circle, and the intersection of these two circles is this point. So I will mark this point now. The first step is to draw a circle with a center at the center of the Smith chart and with the radius of the line which is joining from the center of the Smith chart to this point. Let us say this point is P. So I draw a circle with center as this point and whose radius is the line joining these 2 points. Step 2. The circle that I have drawn represents mod gamma equal to some constant value, whereas the circle which is available at the center of the Smith chart represents mod gamma equal to 0, where the reflection coefficient is 0. And the circle that you are going to observe at the outermost line of the Smith chart represents mod gamma equal to 1. These circles we call it as gamma circles. The first question he asked is the reflection coefficient gamma. Now let us see how to find out the reflection coefficient gamma from this graph. In order to find out the reflection coefficient, I am going to draw a line from center of the Smith chart to this point P. Then I will extend this line up to the corner of this graph. The corresponding point on the graph is this point. Now to find reflection coefficient gamma, what I will do is, I will measure this distance and this distance. Since the starting point is mod gamma equal to 0 and the last point is mod gamma equal to 1, that means the magnitude of reflection coefficient at this point I can easily measure. Now this distance is nothing but 4.45 and this total distance up to mod gamma equal to 1 is 12.7. 4.45 divided by 12.7 will gives you 0.35. Therefore mod gamma equal to 0.35. Mod gamma equal to 0.35. But if you want gamma equal to magnitude of gamma and phase of the gamma, that is theta suffix gamma. Now you have to find theta suffix gamma. During the construction of Smith chart, we represented theta suffix gamma as this quantity. Therefore, I need this angle now. If you measure this angle starting from this line 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, then followed by, and this part is some 6 degrees. So therefore total is 56 degrees. Theta gamma equal to 56 degrees. That implies I can write gamma equal to 0.35 angle 56 degrees. The second point he asked is the standing wave ratio S. The circle that I have drawn here also represents the standing wave ratio also, because if you have a value of mod gamma, then standing wave ratio is nothing but 1 plus mod gamma by 1 minus mod gamma. Also, if you observe the point at which the gamma circle is touching the real gamma axis, that means this point is nothing but our S value. This is 2.0, this is 3.0, that means this point is 2.2, right? So it is half means 2.1 and this line is moving in between these two, that is 2.05. Therefore our S value is 2.05. The value of S, that is standing wave ratio, equal to 2.05. The third point he asked is the input impedance. This point P represents load or normalized load, right? Now input impedance means, let us say this is a transmission line whose load is ZL and characteristic impedance is ZO. Now he is asking input impedance, that is this point, or else you can represent with Z of L, right? If you want to come to this point, you have to travel this distance, and the length which is given to us is 30 meters. In addition to this length, we have two more parameters which are given to us. Those are velocity of wave on the transmission line and frequency of operation. On a transmission line, you have to move a distance of 30 meters and the corresponding value in terms of lambda is, if you want operating wavelength, lambda equal to U by F, that is equal to 0.6 into 3 into 10 power 8 by operating frequency is 2 into 10 power 6, that is equal to 6 to 0.6 into 300 by 2, that is equal to 90 meters. Therefore operating wavelength is 90 meters and the length we have is 30 meters. The relation between these two is lambda by L equal to 90 by 30, that implies L equal to lambda by 3. That means if I have to move from the load to the source on the transmission line, I have to travel 30 meters. Similarly, on a Smith chart, if I have to move 30 meters, then I have to move lambda by 3 distance on the Smith chart. And you know from the construction of Smith chart, lambda by 2 represents 360 degrees. That implies lambda represents 720 degrees. Therefore, lambda by 3 represents 720 degrees by 3, which is equal to 240 degrees. That means in order to move from the load to the source, you have to travel 240 degrees, and you are moving towards the generator. That implies on a transmission line you have to move clockwise direction. From this point, if you want to move towards the generator, then you have to follow this path. This is towards generator, and you have to move 240 degrees. This is 0 degrees. If you have to move 240 degrees in the clockwise direction, that means in this direction, then 240 is available here, and the corresponding line should be what you have to do is you have to draw a line which should start at the center of the Smith chart and end like this, and this angle is 240 degrees. Let us try to represent the value of R and X of this line. The value of R is this point is value of R, that is 0.4. This point is 0.4. This is 0.5, and this is like 0.46. So therefore R is 0.46. Okay. Similarly, if you want the value of X, you have to come up to the edge. The value of X is available here, that is 0.1. If this is 0.1, this point is 0.05, and this point is 0.04, and this point is 0.03. So approximately I can say that value is around 0.36 or 37. So therefore X value is 0.036. Okay. The Zin value that I got here is 0.46 plus J times 0.036, but it is a normalized value. What you have to do, if you want absolute value, this normalized value has to be multiplied with characteristic impedance. Therefore Zin equal to Zin bar multiplied with ZO, that equal to 50 multiplied with 0.46 plus J times 0.036, that is equal to 23 plus 1.8 into J ohms. Therefore the input impedance Zin equal to 23 plus 1.8 J ohms. Now let us compare the calculation by using Smith chart and actual calculations. If you observe the value of gamma, they are nearly equal. Even the value of S is also nearly equal. The input impedance is also nearly equal. The only thing where the mismatch happened is here it is 1.35, whereas here it is 1.8. That means by using a Smith chart, you can get approximate values, and the small error that you are going to get in Smith chart, especially in my case, is due to the center of gamma circle or VSWR circle that I have taken may not exactly coincidence with the center of the Smith chart. The lines that I have drawn on the Smith chart may have some error, or the protractor and the scale that I have used for solving the problem may have some error. But in practice, more accurate Smith charts are used in order to solve problems on the transmission line. Thank you.